Namaskar. My name is Vrushali Kelkar and today I'm going to present my MIKS final project. The title of my project is Comparison between Vaisheshika Darshana and Modern Science. This paper explores the comparative analysis between Vaisheshika Darshana, an ancient Indian philosophical system, and modern scientific principles through 5 central topics: gravity, atoms, substances, motion, and laws of motion. Vaisheshika, founded by sage Kanad, posits an atomistic view of the universe, categorizing substances and explaining the natural world through the interaction of eternal indivisible particles. The paper examines how Vaisheshika's conceptualization of gravity, atomism, and motion aligns with or contrasts against modern scientific theories. It is shown that the Vaisheshika system was surprisingly close to and even probably surpassed modern particle physics in many important respects and provides us with new insights for future scientific research. By analyzing these topics, the paper highlights both the philosophical depth of Vaisheshika Darshana and the empirical rigor of modern science, providing insights into the evolution of scientific thought and its cultural contexts. This paper starts with introduction, teachings, and aims of Vaisheshika Darshana first, and then of modern science. Then literature review and analysis is given. Then the actual comparative analysis is discussed on 5 topics, one by one. Then it concludes and gives references. Vaisheshika of Kanad, one of the 6 schools of Indian philosophical thought, concerns itself with the physical reality. The other 5 being Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Purva Mimamsa and Uttar Mimamsa or Vedanta. It deals with the characteristics of the physical entities, their properties, their interactions, including forces and motions of various types. It concerns itself with the modeling of physical world in terms of its own laws of fundamental physical entities, physical behavior, and the atomic theory of the universe. As basic physics, Vaisheshika formed the foundation of ancient applied sciences such as Ayurveda, which is medicine, and Shilpa Shastra, that's engineering. The core teaching of Vaisheshika Darshana is atomism. According to Vaisheshika, the physical world is made up of indivisible particles called parmanus or atoms. These atoms are the smallest possible units of matter and cannot be further divided. This is called atomic theory or Parmanuvad. We will discuss about this point in detail soon. Vaisheshika categorizes all of reality into 7 fundamental categories, which are padarthas, which describe the various aspects of existence. Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesha, Samavaya, and Abhav, which is crucial in understanding negation. As per Vaisheshika, everything that exists or happens is the result of some cause. This aligns with the idea that the material world operates under certain natural laws. Vaisheshika presents a dualistic view of reality. It posits that there are 2 kinds of entities in the universe: material substances or dravya, which are made up of atoms and subject to physical laws; immaterial substances such as soul and mind. Soul is eternal and separate from matter, and it's the source of consciousness and mental activity. Vaisheshika talks about 9 types of substances or dravyas: earth, water, fire, air, ether, time, space, mind, and soul. We'll discuss this in detail soon. Pratyaksha or perception, direct sensory experience, is considered a valid source of knowledge. What we perceive through sight, hearing, touch is a fundamental way of knowing about the world. Anumana or inference allows us to deduce the unseen or unobservable based on observed phenomena, such as inferring the existence of atoms or the cause of phenomena. The goal of Vaisheshika is the liberation of the soul or moksha from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. While Vaisheshika is primarily focused on metaphysics, it also encourages ethical living, virtue, self-discipline, and the pursuit of knowledge are seen as essential for achieving moksha. Vaisheshika shares a deep connection with Nyaya school of logic, particularly in the use of logic and reasoning to understand the nature of reality. Both systems encourage rigorous debate and systematic analysis of concepts to reach a deeper understanding of the world. The primary goal of Vaisheshika is to understand the nature of the universe and its constituents. It analyzes the structure and composition of the material world. Like we discussed already previously in Vaisheshika's categorization of 7 types of realities. Vaisheshika is atheist in nature as it does not rely on a personal God to explain the existence of the universe. Atoms are eternal and interact according to the natural laws, resulting in the formation and dissolution of various objects and phenomena. Vaisheshika's main aim is this atomic theory. Vaisheshika emphasizes on transcending the cycle of rebirth. The introduction of modern science marked a fundamental shift in human knowledge, from relying on philosophical and religious explanations to an evidence-based approach to understanding the world. Through the scientific revolution, the development of the scientific method, and advancements in various scientific disciplines, modern science has transformed how we view the world, solve the problems, and innovate. Copernicus, who proposed the heliocentric model, Galileo, who made important astronomical observations with a telescope, Kepler, who developed laws of planetary motion, Newton, who formulated the laws of motion and universal gravitation, Descartes, Bacon, who emphasized a methodical approach to knowledge, advocating for skepticism, observation, experimentation, and inductive reasoning. Modern science is divided into numerous disciplines, including physics, chemistry, biology, earth sciences, astronomy, etc. Today, modern science continues to evolve and face new challenges such as climate change, environmental sustainability, artificial intelligence, space exploration, advances in genomics, and many more. Scientists observe phenomena in the natural world, make a hypothesis, experiments are conducted to test the hypothesis, and if repeated experiments and observations consistently support the hypothesis, a scientific theory may be developed. Scientific claims must be falsifiable. In modern science, laws of nature are universal. Mathematical descriptions of natural phenomena. For example, Newton's laws of motion describe how objects move under the influence of forces. Scientific theories provide comprehensive explanations for a range of phenomena. For example, the theory of evolution explains the diversity of life. Modern physics identifies four fundamental forces of nature: gravity, electromagnetic force, weak nuclear force, and strong nuclear force. Evolution in biology includes theory of evolution, genetics, and cell theory. According to the Big Bang theory, the universe began as an extremely hot and dense point with a singularity around 13.8 billion years ago and has been expanding ever since. Modern science studies the interrelationships between organisms and their environments. It also studies the impact of human actions on the planet. Modern science is advancing in the fields of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics, revolutionizing industries and enabling machines to perform tasks traditionally done by humans. Modern science recognizes the importance of understanding complex systems where multiple components interact dynamically. These systems can be biological, ecological, social, or technological. The shift from geocentric to the heliocentric, which is Earth-centered to Sun-centered model of solar system, fundamentally changed our understanding of the universe. The development of quantum mechanics in the early 20th century dramatically changed our understanding of matter, energy, and the behavior of particles at the smallest scales. Einstein's theories of general relativity and special relativity reshaped our understanding of space, time, and gravity, showing that they are not absolute but relative to the observer. Modern science is rooted in empiricism, the idea that knowledge comes primarily from sensory experience and observation. The aim of modern science is to understand, explain, and predict the natural world and its phenomena through systematic observation, experimentation, and reasoning. Modern science seeks to uncover the laws and principles that govern the behavior of matter, energy, life, and the universe. The goal is to build a coherent body of knowledge that can explain how the universe works, improve human life, and guide practical applications across various domains. A key goal of science is to predict the behavior of natural systems. Modern science provides the knowledge necessary to create technologies that can control or manipulate natural processes. Modern science aims to develop testable theories that can explain a wide range of phenomena. A critical characteristic of scientific theories is that they must be falsifiable. That means they must be subject to being proven wrong through experimentation or observation. This distinguishes science from other belief systems. One of the most direct applications of modern science is in the field of medicine. Scientific research has led to the development of vaccines, antibiotics, surgical techniques, and medical imaging technologies that have drastically improved health outcomes and life expectancy. Modern science also seeks to answer some of humanity's most profound questions about the origin and structure of the universe, the nature of life, and the possibility of aliens. Fields like astronomy and cosmology explore the vastness of space, while physics delves into the deepest questions about the fundamental nature of reality, such as nature of dark matter and dark energy. A unique aspect of science is its commitment to self-correction. Scientific knowledge is never considered final. Modern science is based on empiricism, which means that knowledge is derived from sensory experience and observations. Scientists gather data through experiments, surveys, and fieldwork, and use this data to test hypotheses and build theories. Modern science often transcends traditional boundaries between disciplines. For instance, biotechnology combines principles from biology, chemistry, and physics, while neuroscience draws on psychology, medicine, and computer science. This literature review seeks to compare the philosophical framework of Vaisheshika Darshana with the principles and findings of contemporary scientific thought. The important difference lies in epistemology and methodology of both traditions. Vaisheshik Darshan operates within a framework of pratyaksha, that is perception, and anumana, that's inference, while modern science emphasizes empirical observation, experimentation, and validation through scientific method. Vaisheshika recognizes that knowledge can be derived from perception, inference, and testimony, but it also acknowledges the limitations of human sensory perception in comprehending the full scope of reality. In contrast, the scientific method in modern science demands rigorous experimental verification, mathematical models, and statistical analysis. While ancient Indian traditions, including Vaisheshika, were concerned with creating systematic, logical frameworks, the methodological distinction between philosophical inquiry and empirical experimentation remains notable. However, some scholars argue that ancient Indian philosophy, particularly Vaisheshika, contributed to the formation of a logical and structured approach to scientific thinking. Vaisheshika discusses the role of gravity mainly in three events. Why does an object fall on the ground when you let it go? I have covered two shlokas that comes. Atmakarma hasta sanyogascha. This sutra describes that it is due to conjunction with the hand, object remains. Next sutra, Sanyoga bhave gurutvat patanam, describes that in the absence of conjunction, objects fall results due to gravity or gurutva. Thus, it clearly recognizes that objects fall downwards due to gurutva. Why does an object fall after some time when you throw it in the air? I've covered two shlokas again. First one, Nodanadhyabhishoho karma tat karma karitaccha samskarad uttaram tathottaram uttaram cha. It gives mechanism of arrow projection in the first sutra, and then it explains why it falls in the next sutra. Samskara bhave gurutvat patanam. Falling results from gravity in absence of energy. The third event, why do rainfall and evaporation occur? I have covered three sutras that discuss cause of falling of water from the sky. Apam sanyoga bhave gurutvat patanam. Dravatvasya nandanam. Nadyo vayu sanyogad arohanam. The falling of water in absence of conjunction is due to gravity or gurutva, and gurutva means force which arises due to the mass. Here we see in terms of atomic theory, there are certain similarities and contrasts between Vaisheshika and modern science. In similarities, we see atoms are indivisible and indestructible according to the both. To discuss about the origin of the world, Vaisheshika introduced the atomic concept. According to Vaisheshika, Dyad or Dvanuka is produced by conjugation of two atoms. By conjugation of three Dyads, a trinuka is formed. By conjugation of four triads, a quadrad is formed. And these quadrats are combined and form larger composite substances. In a similar manner, atoms of Earth combine to form great Earth, and same has happened in case of fire, air, and water. As per modern science, atom consists of protons, neutrons, electrons, quarks. As per Dalton's theory, atom can neither be created nor destroyed. The second similarity, both systems say that atoms are the fundamental unit of the matter. Both systems introduced the concept of atom to describe the origin of the universe. Looking at the contrasts, we can see in Vaisheshika, atoms are identical in quality, whereas in modern science, atoms are not identified. That is, the atoms of the element having the same atomic number may be different with respect to mass. This is the concept of isotopes in modern science. As per Vaisheshika, atoms are motionless and inactive, whereas modern science believes that atoms move. As per modern science, electrons revolving around the nucleus in certain paths called orbits. As per Vaisheshika, there are 9 dravyas: earth, water, fire, air, akash, time, space, atma, mind are the 9 dravyas. In Vaisheshika, 3 tattvas, Prithvi, Apa, and Vayu, depict 3 stages, namely solid, liquid, and gas. They go much further than the states of matter. The element Prithvi has the qualities of form, taste, smell, and touch. Prithvi goes beyond Vaisheshika into Ayurveda, medicine, Shilpa Shastra, that's engineering, Mantra Shastra, the science of sounds and vibrations. In modern science, this corresponds to the concept of matter in general, specifically solid matter. Earth as a substance could also be linked to the idea of minerals and solid forms of matter in the periodic table. Apa are liquids having the properties of forms, taste, and touch. They are viscid, oily, or soft. Water is recognized in modern science as H2O, a compound that exists in liquid form at standard temperatures and pressures. Teja has form and touch. Universal energy principle has been identified as Teja in consistence with the Vedas as Agni. In modern science, this can be compared to energy in various forms such as heat and light. Vayu has the quality of touch. It represents motion, the property of being in constant movement, and the ability to cause movement. Air in modern science is a mixture of gases, primarily nitrogen and oxygen, and the movement of these molecules could correspond to the concept of Vayu. Akasha has no qualities, but it has sound and vibrations in it. It represents space or medium through which sound waves travel, often interpreted as an all-pervasive medium. It can loosely relate to the idea of vacuum or the fabric of space-time in general relativity, although the ether of modern physics no longer serves the same purpose as in Vaisheshika. Mana, it represents the mind or the cognitive principle responsible for thought, perception, and will. In modern science, the mind is typically studied within the fields of psychology and neuroscience. Indicative of characteristics of time are described: the dimension through which events unfold in a sequential order. Time in modern science is a fundamental dimension in physics, particularly in the theory of relativity, where time and space are part of the fabric of space-time. Direction drik or space is that form which we get the perceptions of from here, this, etc. The modern science view of direction is more mathematical and quantitative, tied closely to measurements and physical laws. Atma, the individual soul, considered the eternal conscious principle that resides within all living beings. Modern science does not have a direct equivalent of Atma, as it focuses on the study of consciousness from a biological and neurological perspective. Thus, we can see these various sutras give a detailed information related to the 9 dravyas in Vaisheshika Darshana. These are the various sutras in Vaisheshika philosophy. This philosophy holds that any motion is caused by unconditional conjunction and disjunction. Kanad introduced 5 kinds of motion, which are karma in this first sutra. Utshepana, which is upward motion, avakshepana, which is downward motion, akunchana, which is contraction, prasarana, which is expansion, gamana, which is locomotion. Kanad's kinds of motion satisfy all kinds of motion in modern physics as well as sciences. In second sutra, material entities or substances have the capability to produce or create new material entities of their own class or type is explained. The third sutra explains one motion cannot be caused by another motion alone without the material entity and its qualities. Motion requires a cause which must have some material entity along with its qualities. Fourth sutra explains breaking motion. Breaking motion is also possible by motion in hand. Fifth sutra explains an explosion can happen without a force causing it due to the explosive nature of the ignited item. The sixth sutra explains sleepwalking of a person in sleep is possible without any effort. The seventh sutra explains the vibratory motion. This motion in grass blades is due to the conjunction with Vayu. The eighth sutra explains motion in crystals. Needle deflection or vibratory motion in crystals is above caused by an invisible force. In the bow gradually released with the special conjunction is the cause of different motion in the Sutra 9. The Sutra 10 explains the various varieties of motion are caused by unseen or invisible forces. Various other forces of motion such as earthquake, etc. are all caused by unseen or invisible forces. These are the 9 sutras currently I have collected. The more detailed information can be found in the PDF. Related to the motion, these are 5 more sutras that I have given here. First one says due to liquidity, viscous flow will take place. Second one says evaporation due to the sunlight and due to the contact with Vayu that happens. Third stage, evaporation can take place due to the variety of causes such as exposure to sunlight, contact with Vayu, by reduction or removal of pressure, by application of a force, due to chemical combination or mixture. The fourth sutra says Teja is being presented to be the cause of synthesis or condensation or formation of liquids as water and their decomposition or dissolution. The fifth sutra says the formation of water in the clouds due to the thunder with electric discharge is being discussed. I have compared here laws of motion in modern science with 3 sutras in Vaisheshika Darshana that explains the same laws of motion. Change of motion is due to impressed force. That stays the first sutra. The second sutra says change of motion is proportional to the impressed force and is in the direction of the force. Third sutra explains action and reaction are equal and opposite. The same we can explain in terms of the Newton's laws. The first law that states an object at rest stays at rest and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. The second law says the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the force applied to it, and this change in momentum takes place in the direction of the applied force. The third law, Newton's law, says when one body exerts a force on a second body, the second body simultaneously exerts a force equal in magnitude and opposite in direction on the first body. So here we can see that Vaisheshika and modern science gives the same laws of motion that we know. From the discussions that we had so far, we can conclude in terms of laws of motion, Newton has formulated the laws of motion in more scientific way with the help of digits and letters, qualitatively as well as quantitatively, while Rishi Kanad had stated the laws qualitatively, but very long time ago. In terms of motion, Vaisheshika philosophy holds that any motion is caused by unconditional conjunction and disjunction, which means that motion is not always present in a substance forever. It is a temporary thing. Though in physics, motion is eternal, motion is permanently present in atoms. In terms of substances, we can say time, space, and akasha are incapable of motion, and it is only the first four dravya and mind which are capable of motion according to Vaisheshika Darshan. In terms of atoms, we can conclude Vaisheshika believes in the doctrine of Asat Karyavada, which is known as Arambhavada or Parmanu Karanvada. Modern science have explained a material or world through electrons, protons, neutrons, molecules, quarks. The Parmanu of Vaisheshika could be correlated with the atom explained by the modern sciences. In terms of gravity, we can see Einstein predicted graviton particle for the gravitational force. This hypothetical quantum acts as a contraction and expansion for the shape of space and time or space-time. Kanad explained it first that falling to the ground is due to the gravity or Vega in 600 BC. And these are the various references that I have used for the project. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. Namaskar.